Have we truly considered what it means practically and morally to live so much longer than generations before us? The question sounds celebratory, but the reality is more complex. Statistically, a UK baby born in 2005 has a 95% probability of reaching age 60, compared to just 62% for someone born in 1905, according to ONS data. This unprecedented survival rate reshapes the math of public care. Imagine two families, one in 1910, where the father pays into the new state pension but passes away at 58, never collecting a penny. The other in 2005, where the grandmother draws a pension for 30 years. The calculus of support shifts dramatically between these lives. Some might argue, but isn't this progress? Shouldn't we celebrate every extra year? Of course we should, but the systems built for a world of early deaths and rare old age now quietly creak under the weight of universal longevity. Looking ahead, policymakers and families must ask, how do we fund not just more years, but good years ensuring dignity without bankrupting the next generation? Why does the final decade of life cost so much, and who actually foots the bill? This is the fiscal cliff few are willing to discuss at dinner tables. Data from the Institute for Fiscal Studies shows annual social care costs skyrocket with age. A 5-year-old might need £941 of care per year, but by 90, that climbs over £7,400. The jump is exponential, not linear. Take the case of Mrs. Carter, who lived independently until 88, then suddenly needed round-the-clock support. Her last 3 years cost more than her previous 20 combined, placing huge stress on local services and her family alike. Skeptics may claim, surely these costs are exaggerated. Most people won't need that much help. But the numbers don't lie. As more people reach 85 or 90, the high dependency years are now the rule, not the exception. With the old age population set to double in the coming decades, realigning social care funding isn't just prudent, it's essential for a humane society. Are today's workers paying into a system built for a different world? The intergenerational contract underpinning UK pensions is under strain like never before. In 1908, when the state pension launched, less than 55% survived to legal retirement age. Today, 92% of a given cohort can expect to reach pensionable age, massively inflating the cost per taxpayer. Picture a post-war steelworker who funded pensions for a handful of elders. Now, his granddaughter supports a swelling cohort of retirees, including many who may live 30 or 40 years beyond working age. Of course, some argue, isn't this what we want, a safety net for all? The flaw is that the pyramid of contributors has flattened to a column, making the math unsustainable without reform or higher taxes. The lesson? A longer life is a collective achievement, but unless we adjust who pays, how much, and when, the next generation faces a debt they may never escape. Can we close the growing gap between taxes paid and care costs in old age, or are we simply postponing a reckoning? It's a question with no easy answers. Analysis reveals that, despite lifetime tax bills around £518,000 per person, only about £10,360 is earmarked for elderly care, far short of the £32,000 needed to support those born in the 1,980 through their extra years. Per Office for Budget Responsibility estimates, consider the Smiths. Their parents, born in the 1,940 had little to no care shortfall, but the Smith children, born post-1970, face gaps of over £13,000 per person for care alone, threatening their retirement security and family finances. Doubters insist maybe private solutions or charities will fill the void, but experience has shown that without public commitment, the most vulnerable end up with the least support. As we look to the future, real, sustainable reform means tough choices. Increased taxes, targeted subsidies, or a new social insurance system. Anything less risks an ever-widening chasm between what we promise and what we deliver.